The concrete burned cold against her face, blood in her mouth, zip ties cutting circulation. But Staff Sergeant Mira Tran wasn't thinking about pain. She was counting footsteps in the hallway, 67 seconds between rotations. Commander Rashid Dar crouched beside her broken body. "One American won't last a week here." He had no idea he'd just signed his own death warrant. Because Mira wasn't planning to last a week as a prisoner. She was planning to last long enough to kill every single one of them. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button and stay with me until the end. Drop A. The mountain exploded. Mira hit the ground lungs, empty vision white, above her voices screaming. Tran Mira, Webb, her team leader, alive. She tried to yell back, couldn't. Her chest wouldn't work. Hands grabbed her vest. Rough, wrong accent. Wahida, Tabiba. 1. Medic. She tried to fight. Her right arm wouldn't move, dislocated. The pain came in waves. Zip ties bit her wrists. Get up. English, accented. She forced her eyes open. A man stood over her, 50-something, gray in his beard, cold eyes that had seen too much. "My name is Commander Rashid Dar. You're coming with us." "Go to hell," he smiled. "Maybe, but you're coming first." They hauled her up. She stumbled, her arm hung wrong, screaming. 3 men surrounding her. No 4. 1 hanging back with a rifle. "Walk, or we drag you." She walked. They moved fast through tunnels. Concrete, lights, professional construction. This wasn't some cave. This was infrastructure. 3 left turns, she counted. 1 right. Descending. Her medic brain logged everything, even as her body screamed. They threw her into a cell. She hit the floor, hard. Her shoulder exploded. The door slammed. Locks engaged. 1, 2, 3. Heavy bolts. "Hey!" She pushed up with her good arm. "Hey!" Footsteps faded. Gone. Mira stood there breathing hard, heart hammering against her ribs. She pressed her hand against the wall. Cold, solid. "Okay." Her voice cracked. She hated that. "Okay, breathe. In for 4. Hold. Out for 6. Her hands shook. She made them stop. "You're not dying here." She looked around. Small cell. Maybe 6 by 8. Drain in the corner. 1 light above. Steel door. No window. Her shoulder throbbed. Wrong angle. Dislocated. She had maybe an hour before shock really hit. "Fix it now or lose the arm." She backed against the wall, positioned her shoulder. This was going to hurt. "Granddad did this in a bamboo cage. You can do it in concrete." She slammed her shoulder against the wall. The joint popped. She bit through her lip. Tasted blood. Vision went white. When it cleared, her arm worked. "Good. Okay, good." She slid down the wall, breathing hard. Pain radiating down to her fingertips. But functional pain. Useful pain. Her boot felt wrong. She reached down. Touched the hollow near her ankle. The titanium pin was still there. She almost laughed. Almost cried. Did neither. They missed it. Amateurs. She worked the pin free with her teeth. 2 inches of titanium. Sharp on one end. Flat on the other. The zip ties took 12 minutes. Her fingers found the ratchet mechanism. Pressed. Twisted. The plastic gave. Her hands came free. She wanted to scream. Wanted to punch the wall. Wanted to break down. Instead, she started counting. Footsteps in the hallway. Regular pattern. 67 seconds. Again, 67 seconds. 1 guard, walking a route. Predictable. Mistake number 1. The ventilation hummed, steady pitch except every 8 minutes it cycled. Louder, then back to normal. Somewhere distant, a generator coughed, every 40-something seconds. A hesitation in the rhythm. Maintenance problems. Mistake number 2. She pressed her ear to the door. Listened. Voices. Distant. Arguing about something. Sports, maybe. One voice laughing. Human voices. Human patterns. Human weaknesses. I can work with this. The feeding slot scraped open. She jerked back. A water bottle and protein bar slid through. The slot slammed shut before she could react. She stared at the food. Her training screamed poison. Don't trust anything. Her experience said otherwise. They don't poison prisoners they can interrogate. She drank half the water, ate half the bar, cached the rest under a loose piece of concrete near the drain. Always think ahead. Always have reserves. She found the loose concrete while checking the floor on her hands and knees. A gap where wall met foundation. Maybe half an inch. Not enough to escape through, but enough to work with. She pulled out the titanium pin. Started scraping. Concrete dust fell into her palm. Slowly. Quietly. Patience makes supper, Grandma used to say. She scraped for 20 minutes, then stopped. Listened. Footsteps. 67 seconds. Right on schedule. She hid the pin in her boot. Sat in the center of the cell. Hands visible. Posture neutral. When they came for her, she'd be ready. 6 hours later. The door opened. No warning. 2 guards. Young. The one on the left couldn't stop moving his rifle barrel. Nervous. The one on the right stood too close to the door. Overconfident. Dar walked in between them. You've been quiet, Sergeant Tran. No screaming. No begging. He tilted his head. Are you in shock? Are you... His eyes narrowed. Excuse me. You just told me you expected screaming and begging, which means you're used to broken prisoners. She met his gaze. Held it. I'm not broken. Not yet. Not ever. He pulled a chair from somewhere. Sat down just outside the cell. The guards shifted nervously. Let me tell you a story, Sergeant. I've hosted 4 Americans before you. 3 men. 1 woman. The men lasted 48 hours before they cooperated. The woman lasted 76 hours. He leaned forward. None of them left alive. Then cooperation doesn't equal survival, which means I have no incentive to cooperate. For the first time, she saw surprise in his eyes. You're different. You're predictable. Predictable. You think because I'm small, because I'm a medic, because I'm a woman, that I'm weak. You're going to underestimate me, and that mistake is going to cost you everything. The nervous guard's rifle stopped wavering. He was paying attention now. Dar stood slowly. Brave words from a woman in a cage. Check back in a week. See who's in a cage then. He stared at her, then laughed. Actually laughed. I like you, Sergeant. It's going to be almost sad when I kill you. You'll try. He left. The door slammed. Mira waited, counted to 60. Then she moved to the corner, pressed her ear to the ventilation duct, listened to the airflow. There, a change, subtle, fresh air mixing with recycled. Exit point, somewhere. She smiled in the darkness. You just gave me a map, Commander, and you don't even know it. Day 2. Morning. The feeding slot opened. Different guard. Older. Gray beard. Limping. He slid a tray through. Rice and beans. Maybe. Eat. You need strength. She moved closer, looked at him through the slot. What's your name? He jerked back. No talking. You talked first. He stared at her, then quietly. Kasim. Thank you, Kasim, for the food. His face twisted. Confusion. Maybe shame. He left quickly. Mira ate slowly, methodically. Her body needed fuel. Sentiment didn't matter, but she'd planted a seed. Kasim, you just became useful. She spent the morning exercising. Push-ups, squats, working her shoulder through the pain. A medic knew immobility meant degradation. Muscles would atrophy fast. Can't let that happen. She ran through memories while her body worked. Granddad teaching her to move through forests without disturbing leaves. Grandma showing her how to read bent grass, disturbed stones, animal tracks. Same principles. Different terrain. The feeding slot opened again. Evening, but not Kasim, the nervous guard from yesterday. His hands shook as he shoved the tray through. Water sloshed out of the cup. Afraid of me? Mira asked softly. Shut up. You should be afraid. Not of me. Of what happens when your commander realizes this facility isn't as secure as he thinks. His eyes went wide. We're invisible. Your people will never find us. I'm not talking about my people. Then who? Me. He slammed the slot shut. Metal rang against metal. Mira sat back, smiled. 2 hooks in the water now. Day 3. Night. The generator cough came right on schedule. But tonight, it stretched longer. 43 seconds became 51. Mira's eyes opened in the dark. Maintenance issue getting worse. Someone has to fix it. Routine disruption. She'd been counting guard rotations for 3 days. 4 guards total. 6-hour shifts. Kasim morning. Nervous one afternoon. Overconfident one evening. Night guard unknown. Tonight she'd meet the night guard. At 02:30, the door opened. A man stood there. Different from the others. Older. Professional. Rifle pointed center mass. Commander wants you. Get up. Slowly. She stood. Hands visible. Movements measured. He watched her carefully. Thorough. He'd check her hands, her boots, everything. Walk. She walked. Counted steps. 3 left turns, 1 right. 12 stairs up. The smell changed from bleach to diesel. Near the generator room. Dar's office. Small. Desk. 2 chairs. Maps on the wall behind him. She absorbed every detail in 3 seconds. Sit. She sat. He studied her. 3 days. No breakdown. No escape attempt. Why? I'm thinking. About what? How to kill you. The night guard stepped forward. Dar held up a hand. Interesting honesty. It's all I have left. You know you can't kill me. Not here. Not now. Not yet. He leaned back. You're fascinating, Sergeant Tran. Most prisoners hide their thoughts. You weaponize yours. Because my thoughts are keeping me alive. You're too curious to kill me yet. For now. He leaned forward. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. Your team is searching for you. Air Assets Search and Rescue Special Operations. But they won't find you. This facility is invisible. We have 3 exit points. We've practiced for months. He paused. Let that sink in. In 7 days, we're conducting coordinated assaults on Forward Operating Base Sentinel. 3 cells. Simultaneous attacks. Your people won't know which direction to defend. Mira said nothing. Let him talk. Talkers gave information. Unless you tell me their weak points, then I'll only hit those points. More efficient, less bloodshed. Your people might survive. And if I tell you, I'll kill you quickly instead of slowly. At least you're honest. So deal, no. His face hardened. You'd rather die slowly than save your comrades. I'd rather they have 7 days to prepare, because you just told me your timeline. She smiled. And that was a mistake. Real anger flashed across his face. Take her to the deep cell. No food. No water. We'll see how long her principles last. The night guard grabbed her arm, hauled her up. The deep cell was worse, 4 by 6. Solid door, no slot, no light. Complete darkness. They threw her inside. The door slammed. Mira waited, counted to 100. Then she smiled in the darkness. Mistake number 3, Commander. Now I can work without being watched. She felt along the walls, found the seam. Wall meeting foundation. 1/2-inch gap. She pulled out the titanium pin. Started scraping. Patience makes supper, Grandma. Concrete dust fell. She worked slowly, methodically. No rush. Rush made noise. And right now I'm cooking something special. Day 4. 36 hours in darkness. No food, no water, no light, no sound except the generator's rhythm. Most people would scream, beg, break their hands beating on the door. Mira meditated. She slowed her breathing, counted her heartbeats, let her mind drift through memories. Granddad teaching her to shoot. Fear the weapon, respect it, but never hesitate. Hesitation kills. Grandma tracking wounded deer at dawn. The injured are most dangerous. Pain makes predators. Her ranger instructor during Hell Week. Your body screams quit. Your mind begs for rest. That's when you discover what you're made of. Steel or rust. She'd been steel then. She was steel now. When the door opened, she didn't flinch from the light. She'd heard them coming, had positioned herself sitting cross-legged, centered, calm, like she'd been waiting. Dar stood there. Doubt flickered in his eyes. 36 hours, no food, no water, and you look like you've been meditating. I had excellent teachers. This isn't a game. Then stop playing. His jaw clenched. He gestured. 2 guards came with a stretcher. Medical cell, IV fluids. We need her functional for the next phase. They lifted her onto the stretcher. She didn't resist. Let them think dehydration made her weak. The medical cell had a cot, IV stand, basic equipment. A guard sat in the corner watching her. A medic came in. White coat, wouldn't meet her eyes. Started an IV line. Lactated ringers. Standard rehydration. Thank you, Mira said softly. He flinched. Like gratitude burned him. After he left, Mira lay on the cot. Assessed. The guard in the corner. Name tape read Hassan. He shifted weight every 12 minutes. Checked his phone twice. Yawned at the 40-minute mark. Human. Patterns. Weaknesses. Time to stop being prey. She closed her eyes. Started planning. Not escape. War. 4 hours later, Hassan's replacement came. Younger. Alert. But at 0600 breakfast came. Kasim brought it. His limp looked worse today. He set the tray down carefully. His leg gave slightly. Your leg is bothering you. His eyes darted to the young guard. Back to her. It's nothing. I'm a medic. I could look at it. Why would you help me? Because pain is pain. Doesn't matter which side you're on. He stared at her. His face worked. Shame. Confusion. Something human underneath the uniform. Then he shook his head. Left quickly. But he'd hesitated. Hook number 3. Almost caught. The day passed. Guards rotated. The overconfident one she'd named him Swagger kept his distance now. Learning. The nervous one. Jumpy still had shaking hands. At 2200, the professional night guard came. Commander wants you. She stood. He removed the IV port. Professional. Efficient. Zip-tied her hands. Led her out. Same route, same turns. But this time she noticed something new. A maintenance door. Slightly open. Beyond it, voices. Someone working on the generator. Timing issue. 43 seconds. Someone's trying to fix it. Dar's office. But he wasn't alone. 3 men stood around his desk. Maps spread out. They looked up when she entered. Cell commanders. She recognized the type. Hard eyes. Combat experience. Gentlemen, Dar said. Staff Sergeant Mira Tran, American Ranger, our guest for 4 days. One stepped forward. Tall. Scarred. Dangerous. This is the one who threatened you. She's spirited. She's a liability. Kill her before the operation. Dar held up a hand. She has value. Medical knowledge. Trauma protocols. Case-vac routes. Mira met his eyes. I'll never tell you. You won't have to. Dar smiled. We've been monitoring your base's radio traffic for 3 weeks. We know your trauma surgeon rotations. We know your helicopter staging areas. We know your CASEVAC procedures. He leaned forward. Your silence doesn't matter. We have everything we need. And Mira understood. They'd kill her after the attack. Loose end, witness, evidence. But they'd made another mistake. They'd told her too much, given her too much information, kept her alive long enough to become dangerous. The professional guard grabbed her arm. She stumbled deliberately, banged into the desk. Maps scattered, papers shifted. In that chaos, she saw it. A radio frequency, written on a notepad. She memorized it. Half a second. Then let the guard haul her upright and drag her back. When the cell door locked, she lay on the cot, smiled at the ceiling. 5 days left, Commander. She closed her eyes, started refining her plan. Phase 1, intelligence gathering, complete. Phase 2, psychological warfare, in progress. Phase 3, systematic elimination. About to begin Sutumanen. Day 5, morning. Qasim brought breakfast. His limp was worse, much worse. He set the tray down, winced, almost fell. Qasim! He looked at her, pain in his eyes. Let me look at it. Please, medic to medic. I'm not a medic. No, but you're hurt, and I can help. He stood there, war playing out on his face. Orders versus pain, duty versus humanity. The guard in the corner was the young one, watching but not caring. This wasn't his problem. 5 minutes, Qasim said quietly. That's all. He sat down, pulled up his pant leg. Old wound, poorly healed, infection starting, red streaks radiating up. This could kill you, Mira said softly. Sepsis. Maybe a week before it gets bad. I know. Do you have antibiotics? We have some, but the medic says it's not serious enough. Your medic is wrong. She looked at him. Really looked. I can help, but I need clean bandages, antiseptic, and access to your medical supplies. I can't. Qasim, you have children. His face cracked. 3. You want to see them again? Of course. Then let me help you. Not as enemies, as human beings. He stared at her, then nodded. Tonight, I'll bring supplies. He left, limping. The young guard hadn't even noticed the conversation. Hook number 4, and this one's big. Day 5. Night. Qasim came at 0200. Off shift, unauthorized visit. He had a canvas bag, medical supplies, bandages, antiseptic, antibiotics. The night guard was different tonight, not the professional, someone new, sleeping at his post 30 feet down the hallway. Qasim unlocked the door, stepped inside, closed it behind him. I shouldn't be here. But you are. Mira gestured to the cot. Sit. Let me work. She cleaned the wound. He bit down on a rolled cloth to keep from screaming. The infection was worse than she'd thought. This needs hospital care. I can't. The commander will have a dead soldier if you don't treat this seriously. She applied antiseptic, wrapped clean bandages, handed him antibiotics. 3 times a day, all of them. Don't stop early. He took them. His hands were shaking. Why are you helping me? Because I'm a medic. That's what we do. I'm your enemy. Right now you're my patient. He stared at her. Then he did something unexpected. He cried. Not sobs. Just silent tears running down his face. I didn't want this, he whispered. I didn't want any of this. They said it was for freedom, for our people. But it's just death. More death. Always death. Mira said nothing. Let him talk. My children, I haven't seen them in 6 months. This compound, this operation, it's not what they told us. It's not liberation. It's terrorism. Then help me stop it. He looked up, eyes red. I can't. Yes, you can. In 5 days, your cell attacks an American base. Soldiers will die. Soldiers with children, with families, just like you. If I betray the commander, he'll kill my family. If you don't betray him, you'll never see your family again, because this infection will kill you first. He stood up, shaking. I need to go. Qasim, think about it. You know where I am. He left. The door locked, but he'd left the medical bag. Inside bandages, antiseptic antibiotics, and a key card. Mira held it up in the dim light. Access card. Probably maintenance areas. Thank you, Qasim. She hid the card in her boot, next to the titanium pin. Phase 3 starting ahead of schedule. Day 6. Morning. Dar came personally. 2 guards behind him. Armed. Alert. On your feet, Sergeant. She stood. Casual. Unhurried. We have a problem, Dar said. My medic says someone treated Qasim's wound. Professional work. Military standard. Good for Qasim. You treated him. I'm a medic. He was hurt. He gave you supplies. He gave me bandages. I gave him medical care. Fair trade. Dar's face went cold. Where is he now? I don't know. I'm locked in a cell. Remember, he's gone, deserted, took his family and ran, because you convinced him to betray us. I convinced him to save his own life. Big difference. Dar stepped closer. You're playing a game you can't win. Am I? 4 days ago, you said I wouldn't last a week. It's been 6 days, and I'm still here. Your men are scared of me. Qasim deserted. Your generator's failing. Your medic misdiagnosed a life-threatening infection. She smiled. Who's winning? He hit her. Fast, hard, across the face. She rolled with it, tasted blood, stayed standing. Feel better? You think you're clever. You think you're winning. He grabbed her by the throat, slammed her against the wall. You're just a rat in a cage playing tricks. In 4 days we hit your base, your friends die, and then I'll kill you slowly. I'll make it last days. She met his eyes. Didn't blink. 4 days, Commander. Tick-tock. He threw her to the ground. Double guard. No food, no water, no contact. If anyone talks to her, they're shot. He left. The door slammed. 2 guards now, outside, armed, watching through the slot. Mira sat up, wiped blood from her mouth. 4 days, but you won't make it that long. She pulled the keycard from her boot, looked at it. Tonight she moved. Tonight the prey became the predator. Sorry, Granddad. Can't wait any longer. She closed her eyes, started the final plan. Day 6. Night. 0300 hours. The generator coughed, stretched. 58 seconds now. Getting worse. Someone would have to fix it soon, which meant maintenance crews, which meant opened doors. Mira waited. The 2 guards outside her cell were talking. Low voices. Commander's losing it, hitting prisoners. Can't blame him. That American woman she's getting in his head. Just kill her and be done. Orders. 4 days. After the operation. Perfect. Mira moved to the door, pressed the keycard against the reader. It beeped. Red light. Wrong door. Maintenance access only, not cells. She pulled back, listened. The guards were still talking, hadn't heard. She moved to the ventilation duct, pulled the grate loose. She'd been working on it for days, scraping screws with the titanium pin. It came free. Silent. The duct was small, tight. But she was small, too. She pulled herself up. Her shoulder screamed. She ignored it. Inside the duct. Darkness. Tight. Barely room to breathe. She crawled. Slow. Inches at a time. Metal cool against her skin. 3 feet. 6 feet. 10 feet. A junction. Left or right. She smelled the air. Fresh air to the right. Recycled to the left. Right meant exit. Left meant deeper. She went left. Toward the generator room. Toward the maintenance area. Toward the heart of the compound. Sorry, Commander, but I'm done being your guest. The duct opened into a maintenance corridor. She dropped down. Silent. Listened. Voices. Distant. 2 men arguing about the generator. She moved toward them, shadow to shadow. The keycard worked here. Opened a supply closet. Inside, cleaning supplies. Tools. Wire. Duct tape. And something useful. Chlorine tablets. For water purification. Ammonia. For cleaning. Never mix these, her chemistry instructor had said. Creates chloramine gas. Toxic. Potentially fatal. She pocketed both. Plus wire. Plus tape. The voices were closer. 2 maintenance workers, focused on the generator. She waited. Watched. One of them left. Going for parts. One remained. Back turned. Working on the generator housing. Mira moved. Fast. Silent. She wrapped her arm around his throat. Applied pressure. Carotid choke. Ranger combatives. He struggled. She held. Counted. 7 seconds. He went limp. She lowered him, checked pulse, still alive, just unconscious. Zip-tied his hands with his own belt, gagged him with his shirt, hid him behind a tool locker. Sorry, wrong place, wrong time. She took his radio, his access card, his schedule clipboard. The clipboard showed shift rotations, maintenance schedules, generator repair timeline, and a compound map. She photographed everything with her memory. Ranger training, visual recall, 4 exits, 3 levels, 22 personnel total, armory on level 2, communications on level 1, commander's quarters on level 3. Got you? The second maintenance worker would return any minute. She needed to move. She went up, used the access card, opened doors that shouldn't open. Level 1, communications room. She could hear voices inside, radio chatter. She couldn't take them yet. Not directly, not while they could call for help, but she could set traps. She moved to the electrical panel, opened it, found the breaker for communications. Didn't flip it yet, too obvious. Instead, she loosened the connection, just slightly, enough that the next surge would trip it, make it look like equipment failure. Then she moved to the generator room. The damaged generator. 58-second cough. She found the fuel line, traced it, found the filter. She didn't damage it, just adjusted the flow valve. Slightly. Enough to make the problem worse. Make the timing erratic. Doubt is stronger than damage. Make them question everything. She heard footsteps. Coming back. The second maintenance worker. She moved. Fast. Up the stairs, level 2, armory door. Locked. The access card didn't work here. Different clearance. But the ventilation duct went everywhere. She climbed back into the ducts. Crawled. Found the armory vent. Looked down. 3 rifles. 6 pistols. Ammunition. Grenades. Equipment. And 1 guard, asleep at his post. She smiled. Mistake number 600. I stopped counting. She couldn't get the weapons yet. Too risky. Too visible. But she could make them useless. She pulled out the wire she'd taken. Thin. Strong. Piano wire from the maintenance supplies. She fed it through the vent slats. Slowly. Carefully. Looped it around the rifle trigger guards. If someone grabbed a weapon fast, the wire would catch. Maybe half a second of resistance. Half a second was everything in combat. Phase 3, Step 1, make them doubt their tools. She moved through the ducts, following the map in her head. Level 3. Commander's quarters. His door was guarded. 2 men. Alert. Professional. She couldn't touch them yet, but she could watch. Learn. Wait. From the duct above, she saw Dar working at his desk. Maps spread out. Radio equipment. Plans. She memorized what she could see. Attack routes. Timelines. Coordinate grids. Then she heard something that changed everything. Voices. Coming down the hall. Fast. Urgent. Found the maintenance worker, unconscious. Someone's inside. Check the American prisoner. Lockdown now. Alarm bells, loud, piercing. Mira moved. Fast. Back through the ducts, racing against time. She heard shouting, running feet, doors slamming. She reached her cell level, crawled to the vent above her cell. The guards were gone. Checking the maintenance area. Her cell door stood open. She dropped down, through the vent, into her cell, pulled the grate closed, hid the screws in the gap she'd scraped. lay down on the cot, positioned herself like she'd been there all night. The door burst open. Dar. Guards. Rifles pointed. He stared at her. She stared back. "Looking for someone?" He grabbed her, hauled her up. "How did you— I've been here all night. Ask your guards." "Someone knocked out my maintenance worker. Broke into supply. Accessed restricted areas." "Sounds like you have a security problem. Maybe it's not as invisible as you thought." He threw her against the wall. "You did this. How I'm locked in a cell, with guards watching, with no keys, no weapons, no access." He searched her. Rough, thorough. Found nothing. She'd hidden everything back in the ducts. "Check the ventilation," he ordered. They pulled the grate, looked inside, saw the screws in place, the duct too small for a person. She couldn't fit. Dar stared at her. Doubt flickered in his eyes. "Then who— Maybe Qasim came back. Maybe you have more than one deserter. Maybe your men are scared." She smiled. "Maybe you're losing control." He hit her again, harder. She tasted blood. Stayed standing. "Triple guard, no one in or out. If she moves, shoot her." He left. 3 guards now, outside her cell, armed, angry. Mira lay back down, winced. Her ribs hurt, her face hurt, but she was smiling. Phase 3, Step 2. Make them paranoid. Complete. She closed her eyes, let her body rest while her mind worked. 3 days until the attack. But Commander Dar wouldn't last 3 days. Because tonight she'd proven something important. She could move through this compound like a ghost. And ghosts didn't ask permission. They just killed. "Sweet dreams, Commander, while you still can." 3 guards rotated outside her cell every 2 hours now. Always armed. Always watching. Always angry. Mira counted their patterns anyway. The triple guard lasted 18 hours before fatigue cracked the system. Guard 1 would watch the cell. Guard 2 would watch the hallway. Guard 3 would watch Guard 1 and 2. But humans got bored. Humans got tired. Humans made mistakes. By hour 12, Guard 3 was checking his phone every 6 minutes. By hour 15, Guard 2 was leaning against the wall, eyes half closed. By hour 18, Guard 1 was arguing with Guard 2 about whose shift was longer. "Patterns always break down," Mira whispered to herself. "Just wait for the fracture." The fracture came at 0400 hours. Day 7. The generator didn't just cough. It died. Complete power failure. 3 seconds of total darkness before emergency lights kicked in. Red, dim, creating shadows everywhere. The guards outside her cell tensed. Radios crackled. Generator failure level 1, maintenance to generator room. All posts maintain position. But 1 guard left anyway. The young one. Jumpy, against orders. Went to see what happened. 2 guards now instead of 3. Mira waited. 30 seconds, 60, 90. Jumpy didn't come back. The remaining guards were arguing. "And go check on him." Orders said, "Maintain position." "To hell with orders, something's wrong." Guard 2 left. That left Swagger, the overconfident one. Alone outside her cell. He paced. Nervous energy. Radio in one hand, rifle in the other. The lights flickered. Emergency power struggling. "This is bad," he muttered. "This is really bad." "You're right," Mira said from inside the cell. He jerked around. "Shut up." "It is bad." Generator failures don't just happen. Someone caused it. Someone inside your compound, moving around while you're all focused on me. There's no one. Then why did the generator die right after your maintenance worker was attacked? Why did your medic desert? Why are things falling apart? His hands tightened on the rifle. You did something. I've been locked in this cell with 3 guards watching me. How could I do anything? He stared at the cell door, doubt crawling across his face. The radio crackled again. Generator sabotaged, fuel line cut. Intruder in compound, armed and dangerous. All personnel to static. The radio died. Someone had cut communications. Swagger's face went white. No. Still think I'm the threat? Mira asked softly. I'm in a cage, but someone else is out there, moving, cutting fuel lines, killing communications, and you're standing guard on the wrong target. He backed away from her cell, looked down the hallway. Dark. Empty. Red emergency lights casting everything in blood. I need backup. Your backup is gone, dealing with the real threat, and you're alone. Shut up. Make me. He turned, rifle rising, but his hands were shaking too much. The lights went out again. Complete darkness. 5 seconds this time. When the emergency lights came back, Swagger was running, down the hallway, away from her cell. Gone. No guards. Mira smiled, moved to the door, pressed her ear against it. Chaos outside, shouting. Running feet. Orders being screamed. She pulled the ventilation grate loose, climbed up, moved through the ducts. This time she knew the route, had memorized every turn, every junction, every drop point. She emerged in the maintenance corridor, grabbed the radio she'd hidden yesterday, turned it on. Static. Then voices. Panicked. Can't find the intruder. Fuel line was cut clean, professional work. 3 guards missing. Commander wants everyone on level 1 now. Perfect. Everyone on level 1 meant level 2 was empty. She moved, fast, quiet, up the stairs. Level 2, armory door, still locked. But the guard was gone. Called to level 1 with everyone else. She climbed into the duct, dropped down into the armory from above. 3 rifles. She checked them. Loaded. The wire she'd rigged earlier was still there. She removed it. Took 1 rifle. AK-47. Familiar weight. 6 pistols. She took 1. Makarov. Checked the magazine. Full. Ammunition. She loaded her pockets. Not too much. Weight slowed you down. Grenades. She took 2. Smoke, not fragmentation. She needed chaos, not bodies. Not yet. Then she did something that would drive them crazy. She took everything else and hid it. Rifles in the ceiling duct, pistols behind wall panels, ammunition scattered in maintenance closets across level 2. Can't use what you can't find. She moved to the communications room. Level 1. Could hear voices inside. 4, maybe 5 men, trying to restore contact with the outside. She couldn't take them head on. Not yet. But she could make them think the intruder was somewhere else. She moved to level 3. Commander's quarters. Found his office. Empty. He was on level 1 with everyone else. She went inside, worked fast, took his maps, photographed attack plans with her memory, radio frequencies, cell contact protocols, everything. Then she rearranged his desk. Slightly. Just enough that he'd notice. Moved his chair, opened drawers. Left everything visible but disturbed. Ghosts were here, Commander, and they know everything. She heard boots, coming up the stairs, fast, multiple men. She moved. Through the office. into Dar's private quarters. Small bedroom. Attached bathroom. The boots reached the office. Clear. Check the bedroom. She was already gone. Out the bathroom window. Narrow opening. Barely fit. Dropped into an exterior maintenance shaft. Climbed down. Hand over hand. Feet finding purchase. Her shoulder screamed. She ignored it. Hit the ground, level 1 exterior corridor, access tunnels. More voices. Close. She's in the compound somewhere. Has to be her, no one else. Find her and kill her. She moved through shadows. Found a supply closet. Hid inside. Waited. Breathing slow. Controlled. Rifle ready. Boots past. 2 guards. Searching. Shining flashlights. They moved past. Didn't check the closet. When they were gone, she emerged. Moved deeper. Found what she was looking for. The main electrical panel, behind a locked cage. She shot the lock. Quiet. Suppressed with a rag wrapped around the barrel. Old trick. Opened the panel. Found the breakers. She didn't flip them all. Too obvious. Instead, she flipped random ones. Communications stayed on. Lighting stayed on. But ventilation died. Security cameras died. Electronic locks died. Enjoy manual overrides for everything. She heard shouting. They'd found the electrical panel breach. She moved. Fast. Back into the ducts. This time heading for the communications room. They'd be panicked, distracted. Perfect. The duct above the comms room gave her a clear view. 5 men inside. Radios, computer equipment, maps. One of them was the tall, scarred commander from the meeting, the one who'd wanted to kill her immediately. Confirming all cells are ready. Attack proceeds as planned 48 hours. Eliminate the American prisoner after we hit the base. 48 hours, 2 days. The timeline had moved up. She needed to move faster. She pulled out the chlorine tablets, the ammonia, mixed them in a plastic bag, sealed it, poked a small hole. Gas started forming. Chloramine, not enough to kill, just enough to irritate, burn eyes, burn lungs, make them evacuate. She dropped it through the vent. 10 seconds, 20, 30. What's that smell? Gas, get out! They scrambled, coughing, eyes streaming, abandoning the equipment. When they were gone, Mira dropped down, grabbed the radio, changed all the frequencies, scrambled the settings, took the portable units, found a laptop, open, unlocked, network diagrams displayed. She didn't have time to read everything. Instead, she broke the keyboard, shattered the screen, destroyed the hard drive with the rifle butt. Then she placed a smoke grenade on the desk, pulled the pin. Smoke filled the room. Thick, gray, billowing into the hallways. Alarms shrieked, the ones that still worked. She moved through the smoke like a ghost. Out the door, down the hallway, guards coming, lots of them, responding to the alarm. She fired 3 shots, high, over their heads, into the ceiling. They scattered, dove for cover, returned fire blindly into the smoke. She was already gone. Through a side door, into the maintenance tunnels. Behind her chaos. Shouting. Orders being screamed. Guards shooting at shadows. She emerged on level 3. Found the ventilation duct she'd marked earlier. Climbed inside. Pulled the grate closed. Waited in darkness. Listening. Boots everywhere. Running. Searching. Panicked. She's armed. Shot at us. Comms destroyed. Generator still down. Electrical panel sabotaged. Find her. She smiled in the darkness. You can't find what you don't understand. Hours passed. The compound slowly calmed. Guards posted everywhere. Patrols doubled. Everyone on high alert. But alert only lasted so long. Humans needed sleep, needed rest, needed to lower their guard eventually. Mira waited, patient, still, breathing slow. At 0800 hours, shift change happened. Tired guards replaced by fresh ones. 3 minutes of chaos as they briefed each other. She moved during those 3 minutes, through the ducts, level by level, mapping everything she'd missed before. She found the barracks, 8 men sleeping, off shift, exhausted. She didn't kill them, didn't need to. Instead, she took their boots. All of them. 16 boots. Hid them in different locations. Try running without boots. She found the kitchen. One cook, preparing food. Back turned. She slipped in, took knives, salt, pepper, spices. The cook never saw her. In the armory, she'd hidden weapons. Now she added more, took ammunition from sleeping guards, spare magazines, equipment, piece by piece, bit by bit, dismantling their capability. At 1200 hours, she heard Dar's voice, over the PA system, the one that still worked. Attention all personnel. The American prisoner is loose in the compound. She is armed and extremely dangerous. Shoot on sight. No warnings. No mercy. His voice was strained, stressed, cracking. She has destroyed our communications, sabotaged our generator, stolen weapons. But she cannot hide forever. We will find her, and when we do, her death will be slow. Mira listened from a duct above the mess hall. You hear that, Sergeant Tran, wherever you are, you're already dead. You just don't know it yet. She pulled out the radio she'd stolen, keyed the mic, spoke softly. Commander, I'm everywhere. I'm in your walls, I'm in your ceiling, I'm in every shadow you can't see. And while you're looking for me, I'm taking apart everything you built. Silence on the radio. Then, how did you— We changed the frequencies. I know, I'm the one who changed them, which means I know all your new frequencies too. Every channel, every backup, every emergency protocol. She could hear his breathing. Heavy, angry. In 48 hours you attack FOB Sentinel, but you won't make it 48 hours, because I'm not running commander. I'm hunting. She clicked off, changed frequencies, listened to the chaos on their channels. She has our comms. Change frequencies again to what she knows everything. Manual protocols only. Perfect. Manual protocols meant delays, confusion, mistakes. She moved through the ducts, found the generator room. The fuel line she'd cut yesterday. They'd repaired it. Sort of. Temporary patch. Duct tape and hope. She cut it again. Different location. The generator coughed. Died. Emergency lights flickered on. Shouting. Running feet. Maintenance crews responding. While they were busy, she moved to level 3. Found Dar's quarters again. He wasn't there. Still on level 1, coordinating the search. She went through his personal effects. Found photos. His family. 2 daughters. A wife. All living in a village 200 kilometers away. She took 1 photo. Left the rest. On his desk, she placed the photo face up. Wrote on the back in marker from his own desk, "They're safe, for now. Leave them that way. Call off the attack." She left it there, visible, obvious. Then she broke his personal radio, shattered his laptop, took his spare ammunition. When he returned to his quarters, he'd know she'd been there, in his private space, touching his family photos, making threats. Psychological warfare, Granddad called it. Break the mind before the body. She heard boots. Close. Right outside the door. She moved. Through the bathroom. Out the window. Down the maintenance shaft. Hit the ground. Kept moving. Found a storage room. Filled with supplies. Food. Water. Medical equipment. She ate quickly. 2 protein bars. Drank a full liter of water. Her body needed fuel. Then she took antibiotics from the medical supplies. Her shoulder was infected. She could feel it. Heat, swelling, redness spreading. Can't slow down now. She injected antibiotics directly into the muscle. Bit down on her sleeve to keep from screaming. Pain exploded through her arm. When it faded, she wrapped her shoulder in clean bandages. Took pain medication. Not much. Needed to stay sharp. At 1600 hours, she heard something different on the radio. Dar's voice. Quiet. Controlled. Dangerous. Staff Sergeant Tran, I found your message. I found what you did to my quarters. You want to make this personal, fine. Let's make it personal. She listened. I have your team leader, Lieutenant Marcus Webb. We found him 3 days ago. Injured, unconscious. He's been our guest in the deep cells, the ones you never found. Mira's blood went cold. Webb, you want him back. Come to level 2, central corridor. Alone, unarmed. We'll make a trade. You for him. She didn't believe him. Couldn't believe him. But she couldn't ignore it either. You have 10 minutes. After that, I start removing his fingers. 1 every minute. Audio only. So you can hear him scream. The radio clicked off. Mira stood there, breathing hard, mind racing. Trap. Obviously. Completely. Undeniably. But what if it wasn't? What if Webb was really here? What if he was hurt? What if she could save him? Think, Mira. Think. She moved, fast, through the ducts, toward level 2, but not the central corridor. Instead, she positioned herself above the corridor, looking down through a vent. Dar stood there, center of the corridor. 6 guards around him. All armed. All ready. No Webb. 7 minutes, Sergeant. She keyed the radio. Where's Webb? I don't see him. He's in the room behind me. Come down, I'll show you. Bring him out. No, you come down. Then we have a problem, because I don't believe you. Dar smiled. Smart, always smart. But you're wondering. You can't help it. What if I'm telling the truth? What if your team leader is 10 feet away, bleeding, dying, while you hide in the ceiling? He was right. She was wondering. Fine, Dar said. I'll prove it. He gestured. 2 guards went into the room behind him, came out dragging someone. Male. Uniform. Blood. Beaten. Face swollen. Webb. Mira's heart stopped. Mira, Webb's voice, cracked, desperate. Don't come down. It's a trap. They'll kill you. Dar hit Webb, hard. Webb collapsed. 5 minutes, Sergeant, then I start cutting. Mira's hands tightened on the rifle. Every instinct screamed to shoot. Take them all down. Save Webb. But 6 guards, all armed, all ready. She'd get maybe 2 before they killed Webb and her. Think. Think. She looked at the corridor, the layout, the positions, fire suppression system, overhead, sprinkler pipes running the length of the ceiling. She aimed the rifle. Fired. Hit the sprinkler control valve. Water exploded. High pressure. Flooding the corridor. Guards shouting. Visibility dropping. She threw both smoke grenades, gray smoke mixed with water spray. Complete chaos. Then she dropped. Through the vent, into the corridor, hit the ground, rolled, came up firing. First guard, center mass, down. Second guard, turning. Too slow. 2 shots, down. Third guard, firing blind. She ducked. Returned fire, down. Dar was moving, dragging Webb toward cover. She ran, low, fast, through smoke and water. Fourth guard, right in front of her. Point blank. She shot him with her pistol, dropped the empty, took his. Fifth guard, behind her. She spun, fired, missed. He fired back. Bullet grazed her leg. She ignored it, fired again. Hit him, down. Sixth guard. He had Webb, gun to Webb's head. Drop it or he dies. Mira froze, rifle aimed, finger on trigger. Drop it now. She looked at Webb. His eyes met hers. He shook his head. Barely. Don't do it. Do. 3 seconds, 1. She dropped the rifle. The guard smiled. Good. Now. Webb moved. Fast. Even beaten. Even broken. He was still a ranger. He twisted. Grabbed the guard's gun hand. Forced it away from his head. Mira moved. Drew the pistol she'd hidden. Fired. The guard dropped. She ran to Webb, grabbed him. He was heavy. Hurt. Barely conscious. I got you. I got you. Dar was gone, retreated in the chaos. But his guards were coming. Lots of them. Responding to the gunfire. She hauled Webb up, threw his arm over her shoulder, started moving. Can you walk? Barely. That'll have to do. She dragged him through the smoke, through the water, toward the maintenance tunnels. Bullets hit the walls around them. She fired back blindly, kept moving, into the tunnels. Door slammed behind them. She barricaded it. Locker, tool chest, anything heavy. Keep moving. They stumbled through the tunnels, her leg bleeding, his everything bleeding. Both of them running on fumes. How did you... Webb coughed. Blood on his lips. How did you survive? Long story. They said you were dead. I got better. They reached a junction. 3 tunnels. She chose left. Toward the exit she'd mapped. Behind them the barricade broke. Boots. Shouting. Go, go, go! They ran, or tried to, more like a desperate stumble. The tunnel opened into a natural cave. Cold air. Fresh air. Exit point. But guards were there. Waiting. 3 of them. Of course. They'd figured out the exit routes. Down. Mira pushed Webb behind cover. Fired. The pistol clicked empty. She grabbed Webb's sidearm. He was wearing one. Barely. Fired. 1 guard down. Return fire. Rock exploded next to her head. Shrapnel cut her face. She fired again. 2nd guard down. 3rd guard was advancing. Firing. Professional. Controlled. Her pistol clicked empty. No, no, no! Webb moved. Threw a rock. Hit the guard's face. Distraction. 1 second. Mira charged. Closed distance. No weapon. Just hands. She hit him. Palm strike to throat. He choked. She grabbed his rifle. Twisted. Broke his grip. Reversed it. Shot him. He dropped. She stood there, breathing hard. Blood running down her face. Leg. Shoulder. We need to move. Webb nodded. Could barely stand. She helped him out of the cave. Into the mountain night. Cold. Dark. Freedom. Behind them, the compound erupted. Alarms, lights, guards pouring out. But Mira and Webb were already gone. Into the rocks, into the shadows. She found a crevice. Hidden. Defensible. Pulled Webb inside. "Stay quiet." She bandaged him. Best she could. His injuries were bad. Broken ribs, internal bleeding maybe. He needed a hospital. "Can you hold on?" He nodded. "How far to friendly lines?" 20 kilometers, maybe more." "I can make it." He couldn't. She knew it, he knew it. But Rangers didn't quit. She pulled out the radio, keyed the emergency frequency, the one she'd memorized from Dar's notes. "Any station this net, any station this net. This is Ghost Leaf. Authentication. Bravo 79er. I have one urgent case evac. Grid to follow." Static. Then, "Ghost Leaf. This is Reaper 6 actual. Authentication confirmed. Send grid." She gave coordinates. Location. Situation. "Copy all. QRF spinning up. Estimate 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Forever and no time at all. She settled next to Webb, rifle ready, watching the darkness. "Mira." "Yeah, thank you. We're not out yet. I know, but thank you anyway." She nodded, kept watching. In the distance, she could see lights, the compound, scrambling, searching, but they were searching the wrong places, looking outward when they should be looking at themselves. 48 hours until the attack," she whispered. "But you're not attacking anyone, Dar, because I have your attack plans, your frequencies, your cells, everything." She smiled in the darkness. "Game over, Commander. You just don't know it yet." 20 minutes passed. 30. Webb's breathing got worse. Shallow. Rapid. "Stay with me, Webb." "Trying." 40 minutes. She heard it. Distant. Helicopters. 2 of them. Blackhawks. Coming fast and low. She pulled out the IR chem light she'd taken from the compound, cracked it, waved it. The helicopters altered course, coming straight for them. Guards from the compound saw them too, started shooting, small arms fire, ineffective at range. The helicopters didn't care, came in anyway, flared hard, landed. PJs jumped out. Para-rescue. The best. "We got 2 urgent." They grabbed Webb, loaded him. Fast, professional, grabbed Mira. "I can walk. You're bleeding from 6 places. You're getting on the bird." They loaded her. The helicopters lifted. Guards still shooting. Bullets pinging off armor. Then they were gone. Up and away. Into the night. Mira lay back. Let the PJs work. IV lines. Pressure bandages. Oxygen. "You're going to be okay, Sergeant. You're going home." Home. The word felt foreign. She looked at Webb. PJs working on him. Serious faces. "Is he—" "We got him. He'll make it." She closed her eyes. Let exhaustion take her. But her mind kept working. Even now. Even safe. Because the attack was still coming. In 36 hours now. And she was the only one who knew how to stop it. "Can't rest yet. Not yet." She forced her eyes open. Found the crew chief. "I need to talk to your commander, now, before we land. You need medical attention. 36 hours. FOB Sentinel. Coordinated attack. 3 cells. I have the intel. I have everything." The crew chief stared at her, then keyed his radio. "Reaper 6, be advised. Ghostleaf has actionable intelligence. Immediate debrief required upon landing." "Copy. Command is standing by." Mira nodded. Lay back. 6 days in hell. But she'd made it out. And she'd brought hell with her. The helicopter touched down at FOB Sentinel at 0347 hours. Mira's feet hit the tarmac, and her legs almost gave out. A medic grabbed her arm. Sergeant, I need Major Reynolds, now. You're bleeding. I know, get me Reynolds. The medic looked at her face, saw something there that made him step back. He keyed his radio. Command Ghostleaf is requesting immediate contact with Major Reynolds. Copy. Bringing him to you. They wheeled Webb past on a stretcher. He was unconscious now. IVs running. Oxygen mask. The trauma team surrounded him, moving fast toward the aid station. Mira tried to follow. Her leg buckled. The medic caught her. Sit down before you fall down. I can't. Webb's in good hands. Best trauma surgeon in theater. But you're no good to anyone if you collapse. She sat. Let him work on her leg. Bullet graze. Through and through. Clean. He irrigated it, packed it, wrapped it. Your shoulder's infected. I know. Already started antibiotics. How long ago? 6 hours. Maybe 8. He checked it. Frowned. This needs surgical debridement. You're looking at sepsis if we don't, after the debrief. Sergeant, after. Boots approaching. Fast. Multiple people. She looked up. Major Cole Reynolds, 40-something. Ranger tab, combat infantry badge. Hard eyes that had seen everything twice. Behind him, 2 intelligence officers. A captain from Special Operations. And someone in civilian clothes. CIA, maybe. Or DIA. Reynolds crouched in front of her. Looked her over. Bleeding. Exhausted. Half dead. Still holding a rifle. Staff Sergeant Tran. Welcome back. Sir, we have 36 hours. Maybe less. I know. Talk to me. She told him everything. Fast. Precise. The compound location. The tunnel systems. The 3 cells. The attack plan. The frequencies. The timelines. They're hitting the north gate, the motor pool, and the aid station. Simultaneous. 3-pronged. They'll use IEDs to breach, then small arms to exploit. Target is maximum casualties and supply destruction. Reynolds listened. Didn't interrupt. The intelligence officers were taking notes. The civilian was recording everything. How many personnel? 22 in the compound, but that's just 1 cell. The attack involves 3 cells. Call it 60 to 70 total. Maybe more. Weapons. AK-47s, RPGs, IEDs, standard insurgent loadout. But they're organized, professional, DARs running military-grade operations. Commander Rashid Dar. We have a file on him. Former Army officer. Went rogue 5 years ago. Reynolds glanced at the intelligence officer. Get me everything we have. Now. Yes, sir. Mira pulled out the papers she'd shoved in her pockets before escaping. Maps, frequencies, attack timelines, crumpled and blood-stained but readable. This is everything. Their communication channels, their fallback positions, their exfil routes, everything. Sir Reynolds took the papers, studied them. His expression didn't change, but his jaw tightened. This is solid intel, Sergeant, very solid. Then use it, stop them before they hit us. We will. But first you're going to medical. That's an order. Sir, I can help. You've done enough, more than enough. Now let my people do their jobs while you let the doctors do theirs. She wanted to argue. Wanted to stay. Wanted to see this through. But her body was shutting down. Adrenaline fading. Pain rushing in. She nodded. Yes, sir. The medic helped her up, started walking her toward the aid station. Behind her, Reynolds was already barking orders. Get me SIGINT on these frequencies. I want ISR assets overhead within the hour. QRF on standby. And someone get JSOC on the line. We're taking that compound apart." Mira smiled despite the pain. "That's right, Dar. Now you're dealing with the whole damn army." The aid station was chaos. Webb was already in surgery. Critical, but stable. 2 other casualties from an IED strike earlier that day. The surgeon was working on Webb hands, moving fast, calling for instruments for blood for assistance. A different doctor grabbed Mira. Older. Female. Captain's bars. "I'm Captain Sarah Chen. Let's get you fixed up." "Webb first. Webb's in surgery. You're next. Sit." Mira sat. Chen examined her shoulder. Probed the infection. Mira's vision went white. "This is bad. Really bad. How long have you been fighting with this? 3 days. Maybe 4. You should be dead." "Didn't have time." Chen almost smiled. "Rangers, you're all insane." She prepped a syringe. "This is going to hurt." Everything hurts. Chen injected local anesthetic around the wound. Then she started cutting, debriding infected tissue. Mira bit down on a rolled bandage, tasted cotton and blood and determination. "Talk to me," Chen said. "Keep your mind off this." "About what?" "Anything. Where you from?" "Blue Ridge Mountains, Virginia." "Beautiful country." "Yeah." Chen worked in silence for a moment, cutting, cleaning, irrigating. "I heard what you did. Taking on that compound alone, escaping, saving your team leader." "I didn't do it alone. Webb helped." "Webb was barely conscious. He threw a rock at the right moment. That counts." Chen did smile then. "You Rangers, cut from different cloth." She finished cleaning the wound, started suturing. "This is going to scar." "Don't care. Most women would." "Most women aren't Rangers." Chen tied off the sutures, wrapped the shoulder in clean bandages, started an IV antibiotic drip. "You're staying here for observation. Minimum 12 hours. "Can't. The attack is being handled by people who aren't running on empty and infection. You've done your part. Let them do theirs." She was right. Mira knew it. But sitting still felt wrong, like abandoning the mission. "Can I at least get updates? I'll see what I can do." Chen moved to the next patient. Mira lay back on the cot, closed her eyes, just for a moment. She woke to someone shaking her shoulder. Her good shoulder. She came up fast, hand reaching for a weapon that wasn't there. "Easy, Sergeant. It's me." Reynolds, standing over her cot, morning light coming through the aid station windows. "What time is it?" 900. "You've been out for 5 hours." 5 hours. She tried to sit up. Her body protested. Everything hurt worse now. Adrenaline completely gone. Just raw pain and exhaustion. "Easy. Doctor's orders." The attack, handled. We hit Dar's compound at 0600. 2 Chinooks, 40 Rangers. They didn't even get a chance to fight back. Mira stared at him. "You took the compound. Completely. 22 personnel captured. Dar himself is in custody, along with complete intelligence on the other 2 cells. The attack on FOB Sentinel. Cancelled. We rolled up the other cells before they could mobilize. Total of 63 enemy combatants captured. 0 friendly casualties." She couldn't believe it. "It's over. It's over. Because of you. Your intel was perfect. We knew exactly where to hit, when to hit, how to hit. You handed us a complete victory, Sergeant." She lay back. Let that sink in. 6 days of hell. 6 days of pain and fear and fighting. And it was over. Webb, out of surgery, critical but stable. Doctors say he'll make a full recovery. 3 months rehab, maybe 6. But he'll be fine. Tears burned her eyes. She didn't let them fall. Rangers didn't cry. Except she wasn't just a ranger right now. She was human. And humans cried when they'd earned it. Reynolds saw, didn't comment, just waited. "What happens now?" she asked. "Now you recover, full medical treatment, psych eval, debrief, then home. You've earned leave, Sergeant. Take it. And after we'll see. But I have a feeling this isn't the last anyone will hear of Staff Sergeant Mira Tran." He left. Mira lay there, staring at the ceiling, trying to process everything. 6 days ago, she'd been captured, broken, caged. Now she was free. Webb was alive. The attack was stopped. Dar was in custody. She'd won. So why did she feel so empty? Captain Chen came by an hour later, checked her vitals, changed her bandages. "How's the pain?" "Manageable." "That's Ranger for excruciating, isn't it?" "Maybe." Chen handed her pills. "Take these. Don't be a hero. Pain delays healing." Mira took them, swallowed with water. The pain didn't disappear, but it softened, became bearable. "Can I see Webb? He's still unconscious. Recovery from surgery. But tomorrow, maybe. I want to be there when he wakes up." "I'll make sure you are." Chen left. Mira lay there, alone with her thoughts. She kept replaying everything, every decision, every fight, every close call. The moment she'd slammed her shoulder back into socket, the moment she'd counted guard rotations, the moment she'd decided to become a predator instead of prey, the moment she'd seen Webb with a gun to his head. "I almost lost him. Almost lost everything." Her hands started shaking. She made them stop, but they shook anyway. Post-adrenaline crash. She recognized it, had felt it before. After firefights, after close calls. The body catching up to what the mind already knew. You almost died, multiple times, and your body wants you to know it. She let herself shake. Let the fear come. Let the emotion surface. For 6 days, she'd been stone, hard, unbreakable. Now she could afford to be human again. The shaking lasted 20 minutes. Then it stopped. She wiped her eyes, took a breath, centered herself. Okay. You made it. You're alive. Move forward." Someone cleared their throat. She looked up. A man stood at the entrance to her bay. Civilian clothes. The same one from earlier, CIA or DIA. "Staff Sergeant Tran. Mind if I come in? Do I have a choice? Always?" But he came in anyway. Pulled up a chair. Sat down. "My name is David Cortez, Defense Intelligence Agency. What do you want?" "To thank you, and to ask you some questions." "I already gave my debrief." "You did. Very thorough. But I have follow-up questions, about Dar, about his operations, about how you survived." "I survived by being smarter than him." "Clearly, but I want specifics. His compound, his security, his personnel. You spent 6 days inside. You saw things no one else has seen." Mira studied him. Late 40s, professional, but his eyes were kind. Not interrogation, just information gathering. "What do you want to know?" "Everything. Start from the beginning. The capture, the cell, the guards. How did you turn the situation around?" She told him. Everything. From the titanium pin to the ventilation ducts. From Kasim's wound to the generator sabotage. From the psychological warfare to the final escape. Cortez listened, took notes, asked questions. Good questions. Tactical questions. "You didn't just escape," he said finally. "You dismantled his entire operation from the inside. Alone. With no support. No backup. No resources." "I had resources. I had training. I had determination. And you had something else. Something rare." He leaned forward. "You had the ability to see the system. Not just the cage, not just the guards, the entire system. And you attacked the system, not the people." "I attacked both." "You attacked people when necessary, but your primary target was always the system. Confidence, communication, capability. You eroded all three before you ever fired a shot." She'd never thought about it that way, but he was right. What happens to Darcis? Military tribunal, then prison, probably for life. His cells are dismantled, his networks exposed. "You didn't just stop one attack, Sergeant. You collapsed an entire insurgent infrastructure." "Good. How do you feel about that?" She looked at him. "How should I feel?" "I don't know. That's why I'm asking." She thought about it. Really thought. "I feel tired, relieved, angry, sad." "Sad, Qasim, the guard who helped me. He had 3 kids. He was just trying to survive, and now he's in custody. His family will suffer." He made his choices. He was a good man in a bad situation. That doesn't excuse what he did, but it doesn't make him evil either. Cortez nodded. Complexity. The hardest part of war. It's easier when the enemy is purely evil, but they rarely are. Dar was. Most of his men weren't. They were just following orders, believing in a cause, trying to survive. He closed his notebook. "You showed humanity in an inhuman situation. That's rare. That's valuable." "What does that mean?" "It means people are going to want to talk to you, study you, learn from you. You're going to be held up as an example of everything a soldier should be." "I don't want that." "I know, but you don't get to choose. You did something extraordinary. Now you have to live with being extraordinary." He stood, extended his hand. She shook it. "Thank you, Sergeant Tran, for your service, for your courage, for proving that one person can make a difference." He left. Mira lay back, stared at the ceiling again. Extraordinary. She didn't feel extraordinary. She felt exhausted, hurt, traumatized. But maybe that's what extraordinary felt like. Not heroic. Just human. The next morning they let her see Webb. He was awake. Barely. Tubes and wires and monitors. But his eyes opened when she walked in. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey." His voice was rough, damaged, but working. "You look terrible." She laughed. Actually laughed. "You should see yourself." "I did. They have mirrors here." "I look worse." She pulled up a chair, sat next to his bed. "How you feeling? Like I got blown up and beaten and dragged through hell." "That's because you did." "Worth it, though. We made it out." "We did." He reached for her hand. She took it. His grip was weak, but there. "Thank you," he whispered. "For coming back. For not leaving me. Rangers don't leave Rangers. Even when it's a trap. Especially when it's a trap." He smiled. Closed his eyes. "You're insane, you know that." "I've been told." Insane and extraordinary. That word again. She was starting to hate it. "Just doing my job, LT." "Your job was medic, Not solo operator, not one-woman army. Job expanded. He laughed, coughed, winced. Don't make me laugh. Hurts. Sorry. They sat in silence for a while, just being, alive, together. Survivors. What happens now? Webb asked. Now we heal, then we go home. And after, I don't know, keep being a ranger, I guess. Keep doing the job. You could do more. Special operations. Delta. CIA. They're going to want you. Maybe. Or maybe I just want to be a medic again. Help people. Save lives. You saved mine. That's what medics do. He squeezed her hand. Whatever you decide, Mira, whatever path you choose, you're going to be amazing at it. Thanks, Webb. I mean it. You're one of the best soldiers I've ever served with. And I've served with a lot. She didn't know what to say to that, so she just nodded. Let the words settle. A nurse came in, checked Webb's vitals, adjusted his IV. He needs rest, she said to Mira. You should go. 5 more minutes. The nurse looked at Webb. He nodded. She sighed. 5 minutes. Then he needs to sleep. She left. Mira stayed. The compound's been secured, she told Webb. Dar's in custody. The other cells are rolled up. The attack's canceled. It's over. Because of you. Because of us. You threw that rock. Gave me the opening I needed. One rock. You did everything else. Teamwork, he smiled. Teamwork. His eyes were closing. Exhaustion pulling him under. She stood to leave. Mira. Yeah, promise me something. What? Promise me you won't let this change you. Don't let them make you into something you're not. Stay human. Stay compassionate. That's what makes you special. I promise. Good. His eyes closed. Now get out of here. You look terrible. She left smiling. Outside the aid station, the fob was busy. Normal operations. Patrols going out. Supplies coming in. Life continuing. She walked through it. Noticed people noticing her. Whispers. Pointing. Word had spread. That's her. The one who escaped. Took down an entire compound alone. Saved her team leader. Badass. She ignored it. Kept walking. Found a quiet corner. Sat down. Let the sun warm her face. 6 days ago she'd been buried in darkness. Cold. Alone. Fighting for every breath. Now she was in the light. Warm. Free. Still fighting, but in a different way. You made it, Ghost Leaf, she whispered. Granddad would be proud. Her grandmother's voice echoed in her memory. The injured are most dangerous. Pain makes predators. She'd been injured. She'd become a predator. She'd survived. Now came the hard part. Learning to be human again. Major Reynolds found her an hour later, sitting in the sun, eyes closed, at peace. Sergeant, she opened her eyes. Sir? Got a call from CENTCOM. They want you to fly to Germany. Medical evaluation. Full debrief. Then home. When? Tomorrow, if the doctor clears you. She will. Probably. He sat down next to her. Unusual. Officers didn't usually sit with enlisted, but Reynolds was different. How you holding up? Honestly, sir, I don't know. That's normal. What you went through, what you did. It's going to take time to process. Yes, sir. You'll have help. Counselors, therapists, support, use them. Don't be a hero. Don't try to tough it out alone. I won't. Good. And he paused. You know what you did is going to be studied right, taught. You just wrote a new chapter in the SER handbook. I just survived, sir. You did more than survive. You thrived. You adapted. You overcame. That's the difference between enduring and conquering. I didn't conquer anything. I just persisted. Persistence is conquest when the alternative is death. He stood. Get some rest, Sergeant. You've earned it. And then some. He left. Mira sat there, letting his words sink in. She hadn't thought of it as conquering, just surviving, just doing what needed to be done. But maybe that was conquest. Maybe the quiet victories were the most important ones. That night she couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she was back in the cell, back in the darkness, back in the ducts. She got up, walked the perimeter of the fob. Guard posts, defenses, normal security. But she saw it differently now. Saw the gaps, the weaknesses, the patterns. You're thinking like an enemy, she muttered. Stop it. But she couldn't. Her brain wouldn't stop analyzing, wouldn't stop planning, wouldn't stop being tactical. 6 days had changed her. Fundamentally, she'd learned to see the world as a series of threats and opportunities, assets and liabilities. This is going to take time to unlearn. She found herself at the north gate, the one Dar had planned to hit. Guards were doubled. Alert. Ready. Because of her intel. Because of her sacrifice. These soldiers were alive and would stay alive. That's worth it, she whispered. All of it was worth it. She walked back to the aid station, lay down on her cot. This time sleep came easier. She dreamed of the Blue Ridge, of her grandfather teaching her to track, of her grandmother showing her how to read the land, of home. The next morning, Captain Chen cleared her for travel. Your shoulder's healing. Infection's under control. You're stable enough to fly. Thank you, Doc. Don't thank me. Thank your own stubbornness. Most people wouldn't have survived that infection. I'm not most people. Clearly. Chen handed her a bottle of pills. Antibiotics. Take them all. No stopping early. And follow up with medical when you get to Germany. I will. And Sergeant, take care of yourself. Not just your body, your mind. What you went through. It's going to stay with you. Don't ignore it. I won't, Chen smiled. You're a terrible liar. But you're an excellent soldier. Try to be both. The flight left at 1400 hours. C-130. Loud. Uncomfortable. But flying away from the war. Webb was on the same flight. Still on a stretcher. Still critical, but stable enough to move. Mira sat next to him. Held his hand during takeoff. We're going home, she said. He squeezed her hand. Didn't open his eyes. Just squeezed. They flew through the night, through the darkness, toward the light. Germany, Landstuhl Regional Medical Center, the best military hospital in Europe. They wheeled Webb to intensive care, wheeled Mira to regular ward. I want to stay with him, she protested. He's in good hands. You need rest too. She didn't argue. Too tired. Too drained. She slept for 16 hours straight. No dreams, no nightmares. Just darkness. Peaceful darkness. When she woke, her grandfather's voice was in her head. You did good, Ghostleaf. You survived. You saved your people. You came home. That's all that matters. She closed her eyes, smiled. Thanks, Granddad. I learned from the best. And for the first time in 7 days, she felt at peace. The debrief started on her 3rd day at Landstuhl, a conference room, 4 intelligence officers, 2 psychologists, 1 recording device. Mira sat across from them. Her shoulder still ached. Her leg throbbed. But she was here. Present. Ready. Staff Sergeant Tran, the lead officer began. Colonel Marcus Webb, no relation to her LT. We need to understand exactly what happened during your captivity, not just the tactical details, the psychological aspects, how you maintained composure, how you turned the situation to your advantage. I stayed alive, that's all. That's underselling it significantly. He opened a folder. Photos. The compound. Before and after the raid. You didn't just survive. You destroyed their operational capability from the inside. We need to understand how. She told them. Again. Every detail. The pin. The zip ties. The counting. The patterns. The guards. Qasim. The psychological warfare. The physical attacks. The escape. They asked questions. Hundreds of them. Technical questions. Emotional questions. Questions she didn't have answers for. When you were in the deep cell, complete darkness. No food. No water. What kept you going? She thought about it. Really thought. Anger. Purpose. Refusal. Refusal to let them win. Refusal to be a victim. Refusal to give up. One of the psychologists leaned forward. Dr. Sarah Mitchell. Kind eyes behind thick glasses. Did you ever consider giving them information just to make it stop? No. Never. Never. Why not? Because information would have killed my people, and I'd rather die than kill my own. Mitchell made notes. You experienced significant trauma, physical and psychological, torture, isolation, life-threatening injuries. Yet you maintained mental clarity throughout. How? I don't know. Training, maybe, or stubbornness. It's more than that. Most people in your situation would have broken, psychologically collapsed. But you not only maintained stability, you went on the offensive. You became the aggressor. That's extraordinary. That word again. Mira was tired of hearing it. I did what I had to do. Did you enjoy it? The question hit her like a punch. What? The hunting, the fighting, the dismantling of their operation. Did any part of you enjoy it? Mira sat back, stared at the psychologist. Are you asking if I'm a psychopath? I'm asking if you experienced any satisfaction from the acts themselves, independent of the survival necessity. She thought about it. Honest answer. Yes, sometimes. When I cut the fuel line, when I scrambled their radios, when I saw Dar's face realizing he was losing control, yes, I felt satisfaction. That's normal. Is it completely? You were reclaiming power in a powerless situation. That satisfaction is healthy. It's the brain's way of reinforcing survival behaviors. Mira nodded slowly. So I'm not broken. You're traumatized. That's different from broken. Trauma can be treated, healed. You'll carry scars. But scars don't mean broken. The debrief lasted 6 hours. When it was over, Mira felt hollowed out, drained, every memory pulled to the surface, every emotion examined. She went back to her room, lay down, stared at the ceiling. Her phone rang. Hospital phone. She picked up. Sergeant Tran. This is Lieutenant Webb's nurse. He's awake and asking for you. She was out of bed before the nurse finished talking. Webb's room was on the ICU floor. Fewer tubes now. Less equipment. But still pale. Still weak. His eyes opened when she walked in. He smiled. "You look better." "You too. Still look like death, but better death." He laughed, winced. "Don't make me laugh." "Sorry." She pulled up a chair, sat close. "How you feeling?" "Like I got blown up, beaten, and rescued. So pretty good, all things considered." He shifted, grimaced. "They tell me I'm going home next week. Medical retirement, probably. Too much damage." "I'm sorry." "Don't be. I'm alive. That's more than I deserve after getting ambushed like that." "It wasn't your fault." "It was. I should have seen the trap. Should have pulled the team back. Should have nothing. You did your job. Things went wrong. That's war." He nodded. Didn't look convinced. "What about you? What's next?" "I don't know. Medical clearance, psych eval, then home. After that?" She shrugged. "Figure it out as I go." "They're going to offer you things. Special assignments, training positions, maybe even a commission." "I don't want a commission." "What do you want?" Good question. She'd been asking herself that for 3 days. "I want to help people, like I did before. Be a medic, save lives instead of taking them." "You saved a lot of lives, mine included." "By taking others." "Enemy combatants, terrorists, people who would have killed innocent soldiers." "I know, but it doesn't change the fact that I killed them. That's going to stay with me." Webb reached for her hand, took it. "Listen to me. What you did was necessary, justified, heroic. Don't let guilt twist that into something dark." "I'm not guilty, I'm just processing." "Good. Process, feel it, work through it, but don't let it consume you." They sat in silence, just holding hands. Two soldiers who'd been to hell and back. Together. "Mira." "Yeah, thank you. For everything. For not giving up. For coming back for me. For being the kind of soldier everyone should aspire to be." "I'm just a medic, Webb." "You're so much more than that. And I think you're starting to realize it." Maybe she was. Or maybe she was just tired of fighting who she used to be. The hospital psychiatrist wanted to see her every day. Dr. Robert Chen. No relation to Captain Chen. Different spelling, even. "How are you sleeping?" he asked during their second session. "Okay. Some nightmares. Nothing I can't handle." "What do you dream about?" "The cell, the darkness, Dar standing over me, Webb with a gun to his head." She paused. "Kasim's face when he left the medical supplies." "Tell me about Kasim." "He was a guard, had 3 kids, injured leg, infection. I treated him. He helped me. Then he deserted, saved his family and ran." "You feel responsible for him." "I feel conflicted. I used his humanity against him, made him question his choices, and now his life is destroyed. His life was already heading toward destruction. The infection would have killed him, or Dar would have. You gave him a chance to choose differently. That's not manipulation. That's offering an alternative. It feels like manipulation. Because you're a good person who cares about impact. But caring doesn't mean you did wrong. Sometimes helping people means disrupting their current path, even if that disruption is painful. Mira thought about that. What if he's caught? What if Dar's people find him? They won't. Intelligence reports say Kasim and his family made it to a refugee camp. They're safe, under protection. He's even cooperating, providing information about other cells. Relief flooded through her. He's alive. He's alive and grateful. He asked to send you a message. Chen handed her a piece of paper. Handwritten, translated from Arabic. To the American medic who saved my life and my soul, thank you. May God bless you and keep you safe. You showed me there is humanity in war. I will teach my children about you, about choosing compassion over violence. You are my hero, Qasim. Tears burned her eyes. This time she let them fall. He called me his hero. I threatened him, used him, put his family at risk. You also healed him, showed him kindness, gave him a way out. He sees the full picture. Maybe you should too. She folded the note, held it close. Thank you. Keep it. Read it when the guilt gets heavy. Remind yourself that your actions had multiple outcomes, not all of them dark. The sessions continued, every day, working through the trauma, the violence, the fear, the anger. Do you have thoughts of harming yourself? Chen asked during day 5. No. Do you have thoughts of harming others, only in self-defense? Do you feel disconnected from reality? Sometimes, like this is a dream, like I'm still in the cell and this is just my mind breaking. That's dissociation, common after trauma. It will fade. Your brain is protecting itself while it processes everything. How long? Weeks, months, maybe longer. Everyone heals at their own pace. What if I don't heal? What if this is permanent? It won't be. You're strong, resilient. You'll find your way back. Just give yourself time. Time. Everyone kept telling her that, but time felt like an enemy. Every minute she wasn't moving forward felt like regression. On day 7, they cleared her for travel. Home. Real home. United States, Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains. Webb was cleared too. Same flight, same destination. Walter Reed Medical Center for final treatment. Then home. They flew together, commercial this time, first class, military courtesy upgrade. People noticed the uniforms, the bandages, the obvious injuries. Some thanked them. Some stared. Some looked away uncomfortable with visible proof of war. Mira ignored all of it, looked out the window, watched the ocean pass below, then land. America. Home. Walter Reed was bigger than Landstuhl, more bureaucratic, more process, but also more familiar. American accents, American food, American faces. They separated her and Webb, different treatment programs, different recovery schedules. I'll see you soon, Webb promised before they wheeled him away. You better. Her room was private, comfortable, almost like a hotel, except for the medical equipment, the daily check-ins, the therapy schedules. She called home that night. Her mother answered on the first ring. Mira, hey mom, crying, immediate, uncontrollable. Oh my God, you're alive. You're okay. We heard you were missing, then captured, then rescued. We didn't know. They wouldn't tell us anything. I'm okay. I'm home. Well, Virginia, close enough. We're coming. Tomorrow. First flight we can get. Mom, you don't have to. Yes, we do. We're coming. Don't argue. Mira smiled. Yes, ma'am. Her father got on the line. Strong voice. Trying not to cry. Failing. Mira. Sweetheart. Are you hurt? Some. Nothing permanent. I'll be fine. We're so proud of you. What you did. What you survived. Everyone's talking about it. Our daughter. The hero. I'm not a hero, Dad. Yes, you are. Whether you believe it or not. You are. They talked for an hour. About nothing. About everything. About family. about home, about healing. When she hung up, she felt lighter, connected, grounded. Her family arrived the next day. Mother, father, aunt, uncle, grandmother. Her grandmother took one look at her and pulled her into a hug. Strong, fierce, unbreakable. You did good, little leaf. Mira buried her face in her grandmother's shoulder and cried. Really cried. All the tears she'd been holding, all the fear, all the pain, all the trauma. Her grandmother just held her, rocked her, let her break down safely. Let it out. All of it. Don't hold back. When the tears finally stopped, Mira pulled back, wiped her eyes. Sorry. Don't apologize. Tears are healing. Your grandfather cried when he came back from Vietnam. Strong men cry. Strong women cry. Crying is strength. They stayed for a week, visited every day, brought food, told stories, made her laugh, made her remember life before the war, life after the war, life continuing. On day 3, her grandmother pulled her aside, walked with her through the hospital gardens. Tell me what happened. The real story, not the sanitized version. So Mira told her. Everything. The capture, the cell, the counting, the pin, Qasim, the hunting, the killing, the escape, the guilt, the satisfaction, the confusion. Her grandmother listened, didn't interrupt, didn't judge, just absorbed. When Mira finished, her grandmother spoke. You became a predator, like the wounded deer. Yes. Good. That's survival. That's adaptation. That's what warriors do. But I liked it sometimes. The hunting. The dismantling. What does that make me? Human. You reclaimed power. That feels good. That's supposed to feel good. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The psychologist said the same thing. Then listen to us. You did what you had to do. You survived. You saved others. That's all that matters. What about the people I killed? What about them? They would have killed you, killed your friends, killed innocent soldiers. You stopped them. That's justice. That's protection. That's righteous. It doesn't feel righteous. It rarely does. Your grandfather struggled with the same thing. Men he killed in Vietnam haunted him for years. But eventually he made peace with it, understood that war is war, and in war killing the enemy isn't murder, it's duty. How did he make peace with it? By helping people afterward, by being a medic, by saving more lives than he took. Balance, little leaf. That's the key. Balance. Mira thought about that. Balance. She could do balance. Thank you, Grandma. Always. On day 10, Major Reynolds visited. Brought paperwork. Lots of it. How you feeling, Sergeant? Better, stronger, ready to get back to work. About that. He sat down, opened a folder. You have options. Several of them. First, medical retirement. Full benefits. Honorable discharge. You've earned it. I'm not ready to retire. Figured you'd say that. Second option, return to your unit. Continue as a ranger medic. Standard assignment. That sounds good. Third option, special assignment. SEER instructor. Teaching survival, evasion, resistance, escape. Your experience is invaluable. We want to teach it to others. I don't want to relive it every day. Understandable. Fourth option, join a task force. Counterinsurgency. Intelligence gathering. Direct action. Your skills are rare. We could use you in special operations. I'm a medic, not an operator. You're both now. Whether you like it or not, What you did in that compound, that's operator-level performance. We'd be foolish not to utilize it. Mira sat back, overwhelmed. Can I think about it? Take your time. You have 30 days medical leave. Use it. Rest. Heal. Decide what you want. Then let me know. Thank you, sir. He stood, extended his hand. She shook it. One more thing, Sergeant. You're being awarded the Silver Star. Valor in combat. Saving Lieutenant Webb's life. The ceremony is in 6 weeks. You'll want to be healed by then. Silver Star. You earned it. Own it. He left. Mira sat there, staring at the paperwork. 4 options, 4 different futures. She didn't know which one she wanted. That night she called Webb. He was at his parents' house in Ohio, recovering, rehabbing. How's physical therapy? She asked. Brutal, but working. I might walk without a cane in 3 months. That's great. What about you? What are you doing? Deciding. Reynolds gave me options. 4 of them. I don't know which to choose. What does your gut say? My gut says hide in the mountains and never come out. He laughed. That's trauma talking. What does your heart say? My heart says help people. Be a medic. Save lives. Then do that. But I'm also good at the other stuff, the tactical stuff, the hunting. Would it be wrong not to use that? Only if you want to use it. If you don't, it's not wrong to walk away. You've given enough, more than enough. No one would blame you for choosing peace. Would you? Never. You do what's right for you. That's all that matters. She talked to him for an hour, then called her grandmother, then her father, then her mother. Everyone said the same thing. Choose what makes you happy. Choose what brings peace. On day 15, she made her decision. Called Reynolds. I want to be a SEER instructor, part-time, and a medic. Regular unit, combined assignment. That's complicated, but doable. We can work it out. I want to teach survival, but I also want to save lives. I need both. You'll have both. Consider it done. Relief flooded through her. Balance, like her grandmother said, teaching and healing, strength and compassion, warrior and medic, both. Not one or the other. Both. The Silver Star ceremony happened at the Pentagon. Dress blues, full honors, family in attendance, press cameras, lots of press cameras. Mira stood at attention while a 3-star general read her citation. For gallantry in action against an enemy of the United States, Staff Sergeant Mira Tran distinguished herself by exceptionally valorous conduct while captured by hostile forces. Despite severe injuries, isolation, and torture, Sergeant Tran not only survived, but systematically dismantled enemy operations from within. Her tactical brilliance, unwavering courage, and selfless dedication to her fellow soldiers resulted in the complete collapse of a major insurgent cell and prevented a coordinated attack on Forward Operating Base Sentinel. Sergeant Tran then executed a daring rescue of her captured team leader, saving his life at great personal risk. Her actions reflect the highest traditions of military service and bring great credit upon herself, her unit, and the United States Army. They pinned the medal on her chest. Silver Star with oak leaf cluster. Heavy. Meaningful. She stood there, feeling the weight. Literally and figuratively. Everyone applauded. Her family, her unit, press, dignitaries. She felt nothing, not pride, not satisfaction, just numbness. This wasn't why she'd done it. She'd done it to survive, to save Webb, to stop the attack, not for medals, not for glory, not for recognition. But she smiled anyway, shook hands, accepted congratulations, played the role. Afterward, Webb found her, walking with a cane, but walking. He hugged her. "Congratulations. Well deserved." "Feels weird." "Medals always do. They're for everyone else, not for us." "Exactly." They stood together, watching people mingle, watching life continue. "What now?" Webb asked. "Now I go back to work. Teaching, healing, living. Sounds good. What about you?" "Medical retirement. Then teaching, too. High school, maybe. History or civics. Give back to the next generation." "That's perfect for you." "I think so." He looked at her. "We made it, Mira, against all odds. We made it." "We did. I'm proud of you. Proud to have served with you. Proud to call you friend." "Same." They stood there. Two survivors. Two warriors. Two people learning to be human again. And for the first time since the mountain fell, Mira felt at peace. She'd survived. She'd saved others. She'd found balance. Now she just had to learn to live with it. One day at a time. One breath at a time. One step forward. That night, alone in her hotel room, she pulled out Qasim's note. Read it again. "You are my hero." Maybe she was. Or maybe she was just someone who refused to give up. Who chose compassion alongside strength. Who survived and helped others survive. Maybe that was enough. Maybe that was everything. She folded the note, put it in her wallet, where she'd carry it always. A reminder. Not of who she'd been, but of who she could be. Warrior, medic, teacher, survivor, human, all of it, together, balanced. She closed her eyes. Let sleep come. And for the first time in months, she dreamed of home, of mountains, of peace. Tomorrow, she'd start teaching, start healing, start living again. But tonight, she just rested. Grateful, humble, whole. The prey had become the predator, and the predator had remembered her humanity. That was the real victory. Not the medals, not the recognition, not the glory. Just the simple act of remaining human through inhuman circumstances. And that was worth more than any medal ever could be. 6 months later, Mira stood in front of 40 soldiers at the CRA training facility in North Carolina. Young faces, confident, some cocky, all thinking they knew what survival meant. They didn't. Not yet. "My name is Staff Sergeant Mira Tran. Most of you know why I'm here. Some of you think you're going to learn some secret technique, some magic trick that'll make you invincible if you're ever captured." She paused. Let that sink in. You won't, because there is no magic trick. There's only one thing that determines whether you survive or die. Choice. Every single moment you choose. Give up or keep going. Break or adapt. Victim or survivor. That's it. That's the whole lesson. A hand went up. Young specialist. Ranger scroll. Too much confidence. "Sergeant, with all due respect, you had special circumstances. Special training. Most of us won't be able to do what you did." "You're right. Most of you won't. Not because you can't. Because you won't choose to. You'll choose comfort over pain. You'll choose surrender over resistance. You'll choose to believe the enemy when they tell you you're powerless." She walked closer to him. "What's your name?" "Specialist Marcus Sargent." "You think you're tough, Marcus?" "I know I am, Sergeant." "Good. Come up here." He stood, walked to the front, confident, swagger in his step. She handed him a zip tie. "Tie my hands behind my back, tight. Don't hold back." He hesitated. "Sergeant, do it!" He zip-tied her hands, pulled them tight. She felt the plastic bite. Familiar sensation, almost comforting now. "Tighter." He pulled harder, her circulation cut, hands going numb. "Good. Now go sit down." He went back to his seat. The class watched, confused, waiting. Mira stood there, hands bound, facing them. This is how it starts. Helpless, bound, powerless. Your enemy controls you, controls your movement, controls your options. Most people stop thinking right here. They accept the situation. They wait for rescue. They become victims. She pulled her wrists apart. The zip tie broke. Just like that. 40 faces went wide. Or you don't accept it. You remember that plastic breaks. That human pattern creates opportunity. That helpless is a mindset, not a reality. She held up her wrists. Red marks. But free. "I'm going to teach you how to think when thinking seems impossible. How to act when action seems futile. How to survive when survival seems unlikely. But I can't make you do it. That choice is yours. Always yours." The 6 months since the medal ceremony had been the hardest of her life. Harder than the compound, harder than the fighting, harder than the injuries, because recovery wasn't linear, wasn't clean, wasn't cinematic. Some days she woke up strong, clear, ready. Other days she couldn't get out of bed, couldn't face people, couldn't stop shaking. The nightmares came and went. Some nights she slept fine. Other nights she was back in the cell, back in the darkness, back in Dar's office, watching Webb with a gun to his head. Dr. Chen had warned her. PTSD isn't a straight line. You'll have good weeks and bad weeks. Don't judge yourself by the bad ones. Judge yourself by how you handle them. She handled them by working, teaching, training, helping other soldiers prepare for what she'd survived. The SER cadre had welcomed her, made space, let her develop her own curriculum based on experience, not just doctrine. Traditional SER teaches resistance through silence, she'd told the lead instructor, Colonel James Morrison. I want to teach resistance through action, through psychological warfare, through turning the enemy's patterns against them. That's not standard protocol. Nothing about what I did was standard. But it worked. And it can work for others if we teach it right. Morrison had considered, then nodded. Show me. So she'd developed a program, 8 weeks, intensive, combining traditional theory with tactical psychology, with pattern recognition, with adaptive thinking under duress. The brass had been skeptical, until they saw results. Soldiers coming out of her program performed better in mock captivity scenarios, maintained composure longer, found opportunities faster. You're revolutionizing how we think about survival, Morrison told her after the first graduation. I'm just teaching what I learned, the hard way. Her medic work continued too, half her time teaching CRA, half her time with a ranger battalion, back to saving lives instead of taking them. The balance helped, kept her grounded, reminded her who she was before the compound, who she wanted to be after. Webb called every week, sometimes more. They'd formed a bond stronger than friendship, trauma survivors, warriors who'd seen hell together. How's teaching? He asked during one call. Good, hard, rewarding. I'm making a difference. You always did. Now you're just doing it louder. How's Ohio? Quiet, peaceful, boring, exactly what I need. He paused. I started teaching history, junior high. These kids have no idea what's happening in the world, what their country asks of soldiers. I'm trying to change that. That's good work, Webb. So is yours. We're both doing what we're meant to do. Finally. She believed that. Most days. On good days. On bad days, she questioned everything. Wondered if she should have stayed in the field. Wondered if teaching was enough. Wondered if she'd ever really escape the compound. Her grandmother visited once a month, stayed for a weekend, brought food, brought stories, brought perspective. "You're healing," her grandmother said during one visit. "Slower than you want, but healing nonetheless." It doesn't feel like healing. Feels like treading water. Healing isn't always forward motion. Sometimes it's just staying afloat, surviving the current until you're strong enough to swim again. When will I be strong enough? You already are. You just don't see it yet. 3 months into teaching, something unexpected happened. A letter, forwarded through official channels, from Qasim. She opened it carefully, translated from Arabic, handwritten on both sides. "Dear Sergeant Tran, I hope this letter finds you well and healthy. I write to tell you that my family and I are safe. We are living in Germany now. My children go to school. My wife has found work. We are building a new life, because of you. You saved more than my leg that night. You saved my soul. You showed me that my enemy could be my healer, that humanity transcends conflict. I teach my children about you, about choosing compassion, about refusing to hate. They ask me to tell the story again and again, the story of the American soldier who healed me, even though I was her captor. You are a hero to them, to me, to everyone who hears our story. I pray for you every day. I pray that you find peace, that you heal as I am healing, that you know the impact you made. Not just on me, on everyone who learns what you did. Thank you. Forever. Qasim." Mira read it 3 times. Then she cried. Good tears this time. Healing tears. She wrote back immediately, told him she was proud of him, proud of his choices, proud of his courage to start over. "You taught me something too," she wrote. "You taught me that enemies are just people on the other side of a conflict, that humanity exists everywhere if we're brave enough to see it. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for being proof that compassion works even in war, especially in war." They corresponded after that. Monthly letters, updates, stories, a friendship born from the worst circumstances, growing into something meaningful. Her students started hearing about it. Word spread. The guard she'd treated. The relationship they'd built. The outcome. "Sergeant, is it true you helped one of your captors?" a private asked after class one day. "I helped a wounded man. He happened to be my captor, but first he was wounded." "Why would you do that?" "Because I'm a medic. That's what medics do. We don't choose who to heal based on uniforms. We choose based on need." But he was the enemy. He was. And by helping him, I gained intelligence. I gained an ally. I gained leverage. Compassion isn't weakness. It's a tactical advantage when applied correctly. She watched the concept click. Watched young soldiers realize that humanity wasn't separate from combat effectiveness, that treating people with dignity could yield results beyond violence. "That's the lesson I want you to take from my experience," she told them. "Violence is sometimes necessary. I killed to survive, to save others. I won't apologize for that, but violence wasn't my first tool, or my primary tool. It was my last resort, and that's how it should be." The Silver Star opened doors she hadn't expected. Speaking engagements, interviews, requests to brief senior leadership on her tactics. She declined most of them, but accepted some. The ones that mattered. The ones that could create real change. She briefed a group of generals at the Pentagon about psychological warfare in captivity scenarios, about turning enemy patterns into vulnerabilities, about maintaining agency in powerless situations. The traditional approach teaches silent resistance, she explained. Don't talk, don't cooperate, don't engage. But that's passive. I'm suggesting active resistance. Engage, cooperate selectively, build relationships, gather intelligence, create opportunities. A two-star general interrupted. You're suggesting we teach soldiers to manipulate their captors. I'm suggesting we teach soldiers to think strategically, even in captivity. Manipulation implies deception. I'm talking about human connection, about recognizing that guards are people with fears and needs, and that those fears and needs can be leveraged. That's a fine line. War is full of fine lines. I walked one every day in that compound, and it kept me alive, kept my team leader alive, stopped an attack that would have killed dozens. If that's not worth teaching, I don't know what is. They approved her methods, added them to the official SEER curriculum, made her approach doctrine instead of exception. She'd changed how the Army thought about survival, not through theory, through lived experience, through proof. 1 year after her capture, they held a commemoration, not a celebration. A remembrance. For her. For Webb. For the soldiers who'd searched for them. For the mission that had almost killed them all. Mira stood at the memorial. Simple stone. Names engraved. Dates. Locations. The official story. Webb stood next to her, walking without the cane now, mostly healed. Physically, at least. 1 year, he said quietly. Feels like yesterday and a lifetime ago. Both. Do you still think about it every day? Every day, but differently now. Not with fear, with perspective, with gratitude. Gratitude that I survived, that I learned, that I became someone stronger, someone better, someone capable of teaching others. He nodded. I feel that too. The trauma sucked, but the growth from it, that's valuable. That matters. They stood in silence. 2 survivors, 2 teachers, 2 people who'd transformed pain into purpose. I'm proud of you, Mira. Proud of what you've become. Same. You're making those kids understand sacrifice, understand service. That's everything. We're both making a difference. Different fields. Same mission. Protecting the next generation by preparing them. That's the goal. That evening, her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. But something made her pick up. Sergeant Tran, male voice. Familiar. But she couldn't place it. Speaking. Who is this? This is Major David Cortez. We met at Landstuhl, DIA. I remember. What can I do for you, Major? I have a proposition. We're forming a task force. Counterinsurgency. Intelligence gathering. Training indigenous forces in conflict zones. We want someone with your expertise, your experience, your approach. I'm not an operator. You are now, whether you accept that or not. What you did in that compound, that's operator-level performance. We need that. The missions we're running require cultural understanding, tactical flexibility, the ability to win without always using violence. I'm teaching. I'm helping people. You could help more people, on a larger scale. We're talking about preventing captivity scenarios, not just teaching soldiers to survive them, actually stopping them from happening. She thought about it. The appeal was strong. The mission was clear. But something held her back. Can I think about it? Take your time. But not too much time. The work is urgent. People are dying while we figure out better methods. He hung up. Mira sat there, phone in hand. thinking. Another choice, another crossroads, another decision about who she was and who she wanted to be. She called her grandmother. I got offered a position, task force, direct action, using what I learned to stop insurgencies before they start. Do you want to do it? Part of me does, the part that wants to make a bigger impact, save more lives. But another part of me wants to stay here, keep teaching, keep healing. What does your gut say? My gut says I've already given enough, that I've earned peace, that I don't owe anyone more combat, more trauma, more risk. Then listen to your gut. But what if people die because I said no? What if I could have made a difference? Mira, listen to me. You are not responsible for saving everyone. You are not responsible for stopping every evil. You did your part. You survived. You shared what you learned. You changed doctrine. That's enough. More than enough. It doesn't feel like enough. It never does for people like you. People who care deeply. People who feel responsible for the world. But you have to set boundaries. You have to choose yourself sometimes, or you'll burn out. You'll break, and then you can't help anyone. Her grandmother was right. She knew it, but accepting it was hard. She called Cortez back the next day. I appreciate the offer, but I'm declining. My place is here. Teaching, healing, making an impact in a different way. I understand. If you change your mind, I won't. But thank you for thinking of me. She hung up, felt relief, felt peace, felt right. This was her path, teaching young soldiers to survive, treating wounded warriors, building relationships with former enemies like Qasim, creating change through education and compassion, not through more violence, not through more missions, not through more trauma. She'd been the predator. She'd been the warrior. She'd been the survivor. Now she was the teacher, the healer, the example. And that was exactly who she wanted to be. 2 years after her capture, she received another unexpected visitor, Commander Rashid Dar's lawyer. The meeting happened at a military legal office, neutral ground, supervised, safe. The lawyer was professional, female, middle-aged, serious expression. Sergeant Tran, thank you for agreeing to meet. I represent Commander Dar. He's serving life in prison, no possibility of parole. He asked me to deliver a message. I don't want to hear anything from him. Please, just listen. Then you can decide. Mira crossed her arms, waited. The lawyer read from a paper. To Staff Sergeant Mira Tran, I write this from prison, from a cell much like the one I put you in. Ironic, perhaps justice. I think about you every day, about what you did, how you survived, how you defeated me. I was wrong about you, wrong about everything. I thought Americans were soft, weak, breakable. You proved me wrong. You were stronger than my best men, smarter than my best plans, more determined than my most loyal soldiers. I underestimated you because of your size, your gender, your role. That mistake cost me everything. My freedom, my cause, my pride. I don't ask for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I killed people, hurt people, terrorized people, including you. But I want you to know something. You changed me. In this cell, I've had time to think, to reflect, to realize that my cause was wrong. My methods were evil. My beliefs were corrupted. And it took losing everything to see it. Losing to you specifically, because you showed me something I'd forgotten. Humanity, compassion, strength through discipline, not through brutality. You treated that guard. You could have killed him. You chose healing. That choice haunts me. In the best way. It showed me who I'd become, what I'd lost. I'm writing this not for me, for you. To tell you that your actions had consequences beyond survival, beyond tactics, beyond military outcomes. You changed an enemy's heart, made him see his own evil, made him want to be better, even if it's too late. I hope you find peace, Sergeant. You earned it. You deserve it. And I hope my imprisonment brings you some measure of closure. Respectfully, Rashid Dar. Silence filled the room. Mira sat there, processing, feeling. He wanted you to have this, the lawyer said, handing her a folder. His full confession. Names, locations, networks, everything he knows. He's cooperating fully with investigators, trying to dismantle what he built. Mira took the folder, opened it. Pages and pages of intelligence, handwritten, detailed, comprehensive. Why? He says it's because you showed him a better way. That even in his worst moment, you chose humanity. And he wants to honor that, in the only way he can. Mira closed the folder, looked at the lawyer. Tell him I received this. Tell him his cooperation might save lives. Tell him that matters. Will you forgive him? No. What he did is unforgivable. But I acknowledge his change. That's different from forgiveness. That's recognition that people can evolve. Even monsters. The lawyer nodded. I'll tell him. After she left, Mira sat alone, thinking, feeling, processing. Dar had changed. Because of her. Because of one moment of compassion toward a wounded guard, ripple effects. That's what her actions created. Not just survival, not just tactical victory, but human transformation. She'd changed Qasim, changed Dar, changed doctrine, changed how soldiers thought about captivity and survival. All because she'd refused to be just a victim, refused to give up, refused to lose her humanity even in inhumane circumstances. That night she wrote in her journal, something she'd started at Dr. Chen's suggestion. 2 years ago I was captured, broken, caged. I thought my life was over. I thought I'd die in that compound, forgotten, failed, lost. But I didn't. I survived. I fought, I adapted, I won. Not just against my captors, against my own fear, my own doubt, my own desire to give up. I became someone I didn't know I could be. Strong, strategic, ruthless when necessary, compassionate when possible. I learned that humanity isn't weakness. It's the ultimate strength, because it allows connection, understanding, leverage. I learned that survival isn't about being the toughest. It's about being the smartest, the most adaptable, the most determined. I learned that teaching is as important as fighting, that healing matters as much as harming, that balance is everything. I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. I'm better, stronger, more complete, not despite the trauma, because of it, because of how I chose to respond to it. And that's the lesson I want others to learn. Not that trauma is good. It's not. It's terrible, devastating, life-altering. But how we respond to trauma defines us. Do we break or adapt? Do we surrender or resist? Do we become victims or survivors? I chose survivor. I chose warrior. I chose teacher. And I'd choose the same thing again every single time. She closed the journal, felt peace, real peace, the kind that comes from knowing who you are and accepting it fully. 3 years after her capture, the Army published a field manual, FM 2176, Survival, Evasion, and Recovery, multi-service, updated with new tactics, new strategies, new approaches. Mira's methods filled half the manual. Her experiences, her lessons, her philosophy. They sent her an advance copy. She opened it, saw her name in the credits, saw her tactics described in detail, saw her story used as a teaching example. Staff Sergeant Mira Tran's experience demonstrates that survival in captivity requires more than physical resistance. It requires mental flexibility, tactical thinking, human connection. The traditional approach of silent resistance has value, but it must be balanced with active engagement, with pattern recognition, with strategic relationship building. Modern captivity scenarios demand modern responses. This manual incorporates lessons learned from SSG Tran's experience to provide soldiers with a comprehensive toolkit for survival evasion and recovery. She'd done it. Changed doctrine, changed training, changed how the military thought about one of the hardest scenarios a soldier could face, not through theory, through experience, through survival, through proof. Her grandmother called that evening. "I heard about the manual. Your grandfather would be so proud." I wish he could have seen it. He sees it. Trust me. And he's beaming. His little ghost leaf. Teaching the entire army how to survive, how to fight, how to win. I'm just sharing what I learned. You're doing more than that. You're changing lives, saving lives, making sure what happened to you doesn't destroy others. That's legacy, Mira. That's impact. That's everything. Tears burned her eyes. Good tears. Grateful tears. Thank you, Grandma, for everything. For teaching me. For supporting me. For believing in me. Always. Your extraordinary little leaf. Always have been. Always will be. 5 years after her capture, Mira stood on a stage at Fort Benning. Graduation ceremony, her SEER class. 40 soldiers who'd completed her program. She looked at them. Saw herself 5 years ago. Young, confident, unprepared for what war really meant. You came here thinking you'd learn tricks, techniques, secret methods for surviving captivity. And you did learn those things. But the most important lesson isn't tactical. It's psychological. It's philosophical. It's about choice. She paused. Let that word hang. Every moment you're alive, you're choosing. Choosing your attitude, your response, your next action. In captivity, those choices become life or death. Will you give up or keep fighting? Will you accept victimhood or claim agency? Will you wait for rescue or create your own opportunities? Those choices define survival, not your training, not your strength, not your resources. Your choices. Always your choices. She saw understanding on their faces. Real understanding. Not just intellectual. Emotional. Deep. 5 years ago, I was captured. I could have given up, accepted my fate, waited to die. But I chose differently. I chose to count footsteps, to study patterns, to build relationships, to fight when necessary, to heal when possible, to survive by any means necessary. And because of those choices, I'm here. You're here. This program exists. That field manual exists. Lives have been saved, will be saved, all because of choices made in the darkest moments. She stepped closer to them. You will face darkness. Maybe not captivity, maybe something else. Combat, loss, trauma, failure. And in those moments, you'll have choices. I can't make those choices for you. No one can. But I can tell you this. Choose strength. Choose adaptation. Choose humanity, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because that's what separates survivors from victims, warriors from casualties, heroes from footnotes. She saluted them. They saluted back. Pride on their faces, determination, understanding. They'd learned. really learned. Not just the tactics, the philosophy, the mindset, the heart of survival. And they'd carry it forward, teach others, share it, multiply the impact. That was her legacy. Not the silver star, not the medal, not the recognition. This, teaching, preparing, empowering. After the ceremony, Webb called. Saw the video of your speech. Made me cry. Don't lie. I'm not. Seriously, you've become an incredible teacher, an inspiration, a leader. I'm just doing what needs doing. That's what leaders always say. But you're more than that. You're proof that trauma doesn't have to destroy, that it can transform, that we can take the worst moments of our lives and turn them into purpose. You did the same thing, teaching history, showing kids what service means. We both did. We both took our trauma and made it meaningful. That's the real victory. Not surviving, thriving afterward. She thought about that. Thriving. Was she thriving? Some days, yes. Some days, no. But overall, yes. She was building something, creating something, contributing something. Thank you, Webb, for everything. For being there. For understanding. For being living proof that we made it. Always. You saved my life. I'll never forget that. Never stop being grateful. They talked for another hour. About life, about work, about healing, about future. Then she hung up. Sat alone. Reflected. 7 years of military service. 1 year as a captive. 5 years teaching. Hundreds of soldiers trained. Doctrine changed. Lives saved. Impact made, and through it all she'd maintained one thing: humanity, compassion. The belief that even in war, people matter. Choices matter. Kindness matters. She'd been the prey. She'd become the predator. She'd remembered her humanity. And she'd taught others to do the same. That was her story, not a story of invincibility, not a story of perfect heroism, a story of choice, of determination, of refusing to let circumstances define outcome. She pulled out Qasim's latest letter. He was doing well. His children were thriving. His wife was happy. They'd built a good life from terrible circumstances. Just like her. We are both survivors, he'd written. Both teachers. Both proof that compassion transcends conflict. Thank you for showing me the way. I will spend my life showing others. She smiled, folded the letter, put it with the others. A collection of proof that her choices mattered, that her actions had ripple effects beyond what she could see. That night she slept without nightmares, woke without fear, started her day with purpose and peace. The compound was 7 years behind her, but its lessons were eternal, ingrained, part of who she was. She was Staff Sergeant Mira Tran, Ranger Medic, Siri Instructor, Silver Star Recipient, Survivor, Teacher, Warrior, Healer, Human. And she was exactly who she was meant to be. The prey had become the predator. Then remembered she was always more than either. She was someone who understood that true strength meant knowing when to fight and when to heal. And she carried that truth forward every single day, teaching it to those who would face their own darkness, proving that survival wasn't about becoming invincible, but about staying human when everything tried to strip that humanity away. And in that simple, profound truth, she found not just survival, but purpose. Not just victory, but meaning. Not just an ending, but a beginning that would echo through every soldier she trained, every life she touched, every person who heard her story, and chose, like she did, to be more than their worst moment.